Want to get creeped out? Let's talk about a Reddit user who tried the Midnight Game. The Midnight Game. I played it and I was a complete moron. I need to tell this to someone. So, a while ago, a friend of mine sent me an intriguing URL saying, I suggest we do this sometime. Of course, I'm talking about the Midnight Game, which everybody here has known about for a couple of years at least. The gist of it is that you write your name on a piece of paper, put your on it, light a big candle, and then put them both in front of your wooden door. As the time nears midnight, you start to knock on your own front door 22 times. The 22nd knock needs to be at the stroke of midnight, and you then blow the candle out and relight it. Doing this is said to invite the Midnight Man into your home, where you must walk around in complete darkness with the candle as your source of light. So not complete darkness, just saying. If the candle goes out, it means he's near, and you have to light your candle within 10 seconds, or make a circle around yourself in salt and stay inside of it. Other things that can happen are the room can go cold, you can hear a whisper, or even see a humanoid figure as you're walking around. This continues until 3:33 a.m., whereupon if you've done everything correctly, you have won the game. If you lose, there are threats of insanity or even death. A couple other things to mention. I have seen renditions of this where it is said that the Midnight Man will make you hallucinate your fears. From the experience that I had from 12 to 3:33, I either think that part was not super integral to my experience, or I didn't up bad enough to hallucinate. Also, it is taken as direct provocation to try to chide the Midnight Man. I'll explain my colossal up a bit further down. I, like most generic Redditors, don't have any belief in the supernatural, and I like to test little things like this as a way of amusing myself. And until this weekend, I've had zero respect for anything of this sort. I'd never had a genuine paranormal experience to the best of my knowledge. Just this past Friday, I remembered suddenly when my friend told me about the Midnight Game. Since I wouldn't have an opportune time to do this otherwise, as I live with my mother and she's been spending the night often at my grandparents' house to help care for them, I call Ryan up and ask if he's still in, which he replies, and this is verbatim.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this call.
Splendid. My friend, who will call Ryan because his name is Ryan, picks up 2 giant-ass Morton salt shakers on the way over at around 10. Alright, Ryan is basically the same as me. Smart-ass-ish about things like this, but still a little apprehensive of the dark, and as he admitted when he told me about it, he would never do this on his own, but would totally if someone else was with him. I was wearing an analog watch and could check it every so often. Here we go, 11:55 p.m. Ryan and I are getting our materials ready so we can write, prick, and knock all in the allotted time span. Ryan suggests that we throw the fuse, since turning on lights means losing the game, but I don't really feel comfortable with fumbling around with all that. We just need to be disciplined about not turning anything with power on and we'll be good. 11:59 p.m. to 12 a.m. We execute our name cards really well, and I end up doing the honor of the knocking. Ryan helps me synchronize the knocks, and I get it right on the dot. We blow out our candles and re-enter, lighting them again. As soon as we both have things lit, Ryan lets out an
Ooh,
and we both laugh and relax a little. 12 a.m. to 12:45 a.m. You're supposed to move around or the Midnight Man is able to find you or something, so we creep around slowly, tracing the wall and staying in the more open rooms. We start to go towards my bedroom, but Ryan says he feels
like it would be too cramped.
both of our candles are doing just fine, and as Florida nights are this time of year, the house is as hot as we expected. As we walk around, we talk and joke a little bit, though we were definitely both nervous to some degree. 12:45 a.m. to 12:55 a.m. Ryan asks me if we're allowed to eat during the game. I actually hadn't a clue and told him to go for it if he can avoid opening the fridge, since I'm sure the light would disqualify us from the game. I actually don't know what he ate because I forgot to ask and was distracted by what he said when he came back into the living room. With a full mouth, he says,
When is the Nightman supposed to arrive?
And God damn it, I wish he hadn't said that, because I reply with, the Nightman in a moment I regret more than anything. I began to sing, and Ryan chimes in. In an instance, both of us are singing The Nightman Cometh from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Sorry, I'm not gonna sing for you guys. Doing that was the single most stupidest thing I did, because the night was not the same from that point on. 12:58 a.m. The only reason I remember the exact time is that I was looking at my watch by candlelight when the mother just went out. I didn't think I could panic like such a little girl or little boy, and I quickly relighted in no more than 5 seconds. That was close, I say, and Ryan looks at me silently. He makes a weird face, and I ask him, what's wrong?
What did you say?
He asks me, and I repeat myself. I said, that was close. And he says,
No, I heard that. What did you start to say right after that?
Apparently, he had heard me whispering words immediately following what I'd said. We move over towards the bathroom in the hallway pretty quickly. 1:25 a.m. We've been walking around slowly, but with a bit more purpose than before. No more joking around, not much talking between us except necessary communication. We both feel a little more humbled than we had when we started. We both start to go from my bedroom and towards my mom's room, and that's when I look to the right and into the hallway bathroom. There's a figure just standing in the tub, part obscured by the drawn curtain. Our candles remain intact, so I grab Ryan's shirt firmly and speed walk towards the kitchen. Ryan didn't even ask me what was going on. Once we got to the far end of the kitchen, I asked him if he saw it too. He did. At this point, Ryan asks me if there was anything in the rules that let you opt out of the game. He really didn't want to continue, but he was too scared to turn on the lights and find out what happened from there, so he continued with me. I don't know what I'd have done if he left. 1:40 a.m. We're staying in the kitchen and garage area, going back and forth between them, and I'm basically holding my breath whenever we go through a threshold, since I expect to just see him there. Things seem to calm down a bit until at around this time I realize something horrible. Ryan, I ask, where's the salt you brought? I didn't ask him because I didn't know, but because I didn't want to have to say it. He answered just as I thought he would.
Your bedroom.
Damn it. We talk it over for a minute and basically conclude that we absolutely need the salt if things go wrong. We start towards my room, 1:45 a.m. Even though the kitchen and the bedroom are barely more than a 10-second sprint from one another, we don't dare do that. Any quick motion is basically just begging for your candle to go out, and I can't help but feel like running will provoke him. We inch our way towards the hall, and finally we have the same view of the bathroom that we had prior. I make myself look because I can't not. If he's still there, I want to know. And nothing. I just see a dark bathroom and nothing but that. I think that was the most relieved I felt all game, which is stupid because as other players have mentioned, it seems like optimism is enough to draw him to you. I walk through the hallway and into my bedroom, and I can see the giant cylinders of salt sitting right in front of my computer monitor. As soon as I grab one of them, the room goes cold. Of all the rooms in my house that never gets cold, it's my bedroom. My bedroom is the hottest in the house due to insulation, and yet I suddenly have the urge to shiver. I turn around immediately with a salt shaker in hand and another under my arm, and 1:47 a.m. Two things immediately catch my eye. A, I don't see Ryan, who had been behind me up until the hallway to the bedroom. I do, however, see the glow of his candle coming from around the corner. I take a moment to wonder why he didn't come in to help me, since I only have one free hand due to the other grasping a candle, and I get my answer. B, the subtlest, most disturbing bob of a head to my left, right over my bed. I swear to you all, there was a figure just sitting in the middle of my bed, and his head had just moved. Between the cold, the lack of Ryan near me, and now this man who is silently perched on my bed, I lose my shit. I run straight out the door, my candle miraculously staying lit. But I drop the salt shaker that I'd had in my armpit, and I emerge with only one of them. I expect Ryan to get mad at me, but I round the corner and his eyes are so wide that I become startled again.
Go,
He says right before his candle goes out. I feel awful for this, but I kept booking it back to the kitchen, turning around as soon as candlelight reappears from behind. I don't know how long it took him, but it definitely didn't exceed 10 seconds. I try to apologize to him, and he tells me that, in all honesty, he'd have done the same. 1:50 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. We decide to basically avoid the east part of the house, since both times of seeing him involved him in my bathroom or bedroom, and the living room was where my candle had gone out the first time. We also discussed the salt shaker situation, coming to the mutual decision that if one of our candles fails, that person will circle themselves and give the shaker to the other person to continue on. At this point, that that happening is my biggest fear. For Ryan's candle to go out, him have to plant himself in the house, and me have to go traversing on my own for the rest of it. Even though we had a 40-minute period of absolutely nothing, there wasn't a single ounce of relief to come with each passing minute. Relief felt like weakness to me, and weakness felt like something the Midnight Man would see. 2:30 a.m. to 2:40 a.m. We decided to go into the Florida room for the first time all night. It extends so long across the house that I feel like there are so many chances to see him just lurking, but I feel like staying in the kitchen and garage and dining area is going to do us in, so we enter. We have a tiny bit of light coming through the terraced windows from streetlights on the avenue next to ours, but it is barely aglow. This room is still very, very much dark, and we do the only thing we can think of: pace up and down it slowly, hoping that the last hour or so will go well. 2:45 a.m. There's a futon at one end of the room. Ryan and I sat on it to rest for just a few minutes, since we'd basically been on our feet since midnight. Like an idiot, I let myself get hopeful at what time it was, how we would be done with this nonsense in a really short period, and how we had survived the Midnight Man. He's right there. I look up and see the blinds parted just a smidgen, and before I even look up and see the darkened figure, I get off the bed and dart straight ahead. I run to about halfway through the room, and in the most terrifying second of my whole life, something comes crashing down on me. My overactive imagination can only assume one thing. The Midnight Man materialized through the glass slider and pounced on me like a hunter from Left 4 Dead, but after a second or two, I realize that what's on me is flat and scratchy. Ryan shouts out from behind. At first, I assume it's because he saw me get hit by the chunk of ceiling that had just swiped the side of my head, but no, his candle has gone out. Again, still holding mine, I turn, a great deal of pain still on my mind, to see him booking it towards me. "Light your candle," I yell, but he doesn't respond to that. I notice now that he isn't even holding his candle anymore, but the salt shaker. He does something that I had never even thought of. He starts to pour a salt circle around both of us, a boundary that seems to connect just fine, and it's absolutely huge. Even though I have a lit candle and his face looks absolutely horrified, I have a brief terror of, now I have to go play by myself for the rest of the night, which is followed immediately by a sudden realization, no I don't, and I blow out my candle. 2:50 a.m. to 3:33 a.m. Oh Christ. I almost don't even want to talk about this part. The first thing my mind conceives upon blowing out the candle is that I made a really stupid decision. This is followed by reminding myself that I'm already in the salt circle, and Ryan even says to me,
Good. I'm really glad you did that.
The two of us are just sitting on this disgusting floor, the salt border honestly looking more like an acorn than a circle, but there aren't any gaps. We sit, and there is nothing but complete silence. My pupils are still getting cozy with the idea of dilating after all that candle time, but I swear I'm seeing movement over on the futon where we had been. I don't ask Ryan to turn around and look with me. I just want it to end. Throughout the nearly 3/4 hour we spent in that cramped salt acorn, we both get chills at completely separate times. I heard a whisper, no, no, like a mantra for about 30 seconds. By the time the watch hit 3:33 a.m., we hadn't moved. We didn't leave the damn thing until at least 3:40. Both slowly and silently, we got up and turned every light on in the house. The afterword of this whole experience, I went to the bathroom to see what kind of mark that ceiling piece had left. The piece of ceiling that fell was clearly part of an already deteriorating room. The rest of the ceiling had fallen last summer, but there was no activity back there since. The fact that another large chunk would just fall as we were playing the midnight game right after seeing him, and right as I'm underneath it, is staggeringly horrible. A small gash was left on my head. I have had horrible nightmares the past 2 nights. Horrible. People I know in places from my childhood. They'll be talking to me normally and calmly, and then suddenly their eyes and pupils and their tongue is wagging, almost as absurdly creepy as the original Evil Dead, only realistic in a way that I can't and will not describe. None of my dreams have involved the Midnight Man, but I can't help but feel like I lost. We shouldn't have shared the same salt circle because that was never verified as workable in the rules. I shouldn't have blown out my fucking candle myself, even though I was in the circle. The circle, as said, was barely a circle. How the hell have past players managed to do a circle in the dark? I don't know if I'm being tormented or if I'm just paranoid. Ryan and I spoke the next day, and he had had a nightmare as well, but his had to do with drowning and being resurrected and drowning again. I haven't spoken to him yet today, so I don't know if he had another bad dream tonight. Don't play the Midnight Game. Nothing about it was worth it. I liked this one. What did you guys think? Anyways, that's it for this one, and I'll see you next time.